So, who's heard of WinLink? Who's used WinLink? I know Will has. Awesome. So I know Will checked in the day after the November meeting when I first announced it, and I was tinkering with it while he was trying to connect, and I changed the SSID, but he's smart, he figured it out. So WinLink is global radio email. First, our objectives. Define the WinLink system, introduction to protocols, understand an RMS, understand a client application, intro to the hybrid WinLink system, overview methods of connecting to a VHF RMS, and then hopefully a live demonstration if things cooperate. You can read this. This is from the winlink.org website. Basically, it's an emergency communication tool that uses RF to send email messages to radio message servers. These radio message servers are all over the country and the world. I happen to have one. That's the main reason for this presentation today. I put it up. I want you guys to use it, so I want you guys to have the information to access it. It's on VHF right now. It's going to have HF soon. We're going to explain why in a minute. And it's run by the Amateur Radio Safety Foundation, who will pester you if you aren't registered. They just ask for a one-time donation of $25. This is just a screenshot of the WinLink system. You're going to see a lot of things up here. You don't need to set up an account online. You can set up an account straight from the client application. And you can actually do that offline. You don't have to be connected to the internet. You just send your first email for the first time ever. You can send it to your personal Gmail address, and it'll create an account for you. Some tools, the Book of Knowledge, user programs. This is all good information. Download, that's where you go to receive the programs that you need, as well as the VARA modems are hosted on winlink.org now. WinLink uses V2 forwarding. It's not too important that you understand what all that is, but when you send a WinLink message, you're going to see a lot of uppercaps 2 character symbols. So this is a WinLink telnet message I sent to myself yesterday. And you're going to see PQ, that's password query, PR, that's password response, and then the other one to know is FF. So if you see FF, then you're done receiving messages from the server. You might not be done sending, but you don't have anything left to receive. Radio message server is an RF gateway, so that's who you connect to as the client. I happen to be a sysop, system operator, so I have the RMS, but I also use client applications. WinLink creates the official client application. It's the most feature-rich. It's the most user-friendly. But there's also, it only works on Windows operating system. So there's other programs that work on Android, iPhone, Linux, Mac. So all of those are client applications. But this is a map. This is just packet RMSs in the continental United States. So you can see there's a lot. You can kind of see mine right in there. Barry Stroud's is right in there. And then this is VARA HF RMSs. If you got an HF radio hooked up, then you can use the VARA application. And we're going to talk about VARA in a little bit. So there's 2 major methods to connect through WinLink. The typical one is to connect to a CMS, so you connect to the RMS. The RMS is internet connected to the common message server, which are run on Amazon servers across the country. So they have redundancy. They're all interlinked. It's a big mesh network where they share the exact same information with each other in live time. So those go through WinLink message server, WinLink message servers, and then they go out to regular email servers if you're sending it to a non-WinLink address. So those are connected to the internet. Peer-to-peer is also a capability in WinLink where you and your friend can get on VHF, HF, you pick a frequency, you pick a mode, you pick a time, and then you just set up and send your message directly to them. The WinLink hybrid network is one of the newer features of the system, and it's a great way to get email out if the internet went down. So the purpose of the hybrid network. Well, let me go through the topography first. Sorry. So you connect to your RMS. Your RMS may or may not have internet in some kind of emergency scenario. So the system operating program that I'll show you in a second is smart enough that it's going to connect to another RMS that does have internet. And it'll try them all automatically until it reaches one that finally has internet and gets it onto the internet, out to whomever you happen to be sending it to. So it can also, if you become a local user who frequently uses your local RMS, it can go out to an RMS with internet, to a CMS, receive your messages that have been sent to you, and store and hold them. So it can store and forward. That's the grid down scenario. It can also store and retrieve.
Question.
Yes.
Will hybrid network act like a peer-to-peer meeting? Does it have to get to the internet, or can that information from those nodes still be used?
It acts like peer-to-peer between the two RMSs. So you're the client, you connect to an RMS, the RMS stores it, and then if it sees the internet's down, it forwards it to a RMS on a peer-to-peer, and then that RMS is connected to the CMS via internet. So why do we have the hybrid network? This look familiar to anybody? This is the Christmas 2020 Nashville bombing. Knocked out power for the whole block. AT&T's generators were knocked out, so they ran on batteries for the afternoon. Internet went out for middle of the state, screwed up AT&T almost nationwide. Not completely, but definitely for the middle of the state. You didn't have any internet. Sometimes, some people for days. No internet, no cellular, no TV. So what do? Well, how do you let your family know that everything's okay? How do you reach out to somebody to get information? You could use HF, but the bands might be really busy in that scenario. Everybody is trying to get on the bands, figure out what's going on. So you could send your email over VHF RMS to your local station, and then through the hybrid network, they'll reach out to someone with internet and then send it back to you. Here's another one, Asheville last year, Unicoi last year as well. If you're supporting this hospital, how do you get an email to the state EOC in Nashville if there's no cell phones? All the fiber got washed away. So that's the main point of the hybrid network. There is a way to test it called radio only. Most sysops have it disabled for testing purposes because it really ties up their server, their radio, and they don't want to burn up their files just on people who are unnecessarily using it. So now we're out of the overview. We're into more of how it's going to work for you. So you go to downloads.winlink.org. You're going to see three options: sysop programs, user programs, RO programs, products. So I use sysop programs. You use user programs. You only have to go to this website once because it's really good at keeping itself updated. It updates either the program or the forms or both almost every week. You'll just open the client and you'll see it start downloading, and then it'll close, refresh, and then you're tip-top. WinLink also has full CAT control for HF, tons of radios supported, every commercial ham radio you can think of, and then more. Barrett radios, Motorola Micoms, all kinds of stuff. And it's also great because it'll open your sound card application for you. So you show it, you point it to the folder. Normally you can find it if you saved it to the default folder or installed it to the default folder. But so you don't have to click 5 different things. You just open the client, open a session. Like I showed you on the winlink.org, if you click user programs, it'll give you this chart. This chart's probably 5 pages long, comparing each and every client program. Pat WinLink is a big one. That one works on Windows, Linux, Mac, and it serves the client as a web page. So you open it in your browser. It requires a little bit more setup, slightly complicated. KM4ACK on YouTube. He's got a script that'll install Pat for you and set up all the modems. But it's Linux. You can get bogged down. So if you're brand new to WinLink, I recommend Windows. Just download the good old WinLink Express. It also used to be called WinLink 2000. So you'll see WinLink 2000 or WL2K. And then for a brief period, it was called RMS Express, but that's confusing because you're not the RMS. I am. PacLink is just in the terminal. Don't recommend it. Airmail. I tried this when I got my PacTor modem. Don't recommend it. Radio mail. Highly recommend, but it's expensive. It's $10 a year or something like that. And that can add up over time. WinLink on Android, pretty sure that's free. BPQ32 is also free. Has a lot of power, a lot of interesting things going on, but also very complicated. If you're curious, this is what my window on the RMS side looks like. So I've got the sound modem running here. I've got the VARA modem running here. This does packet, so it says packet, but it's anything VHF. It controls both of these. And then this is this unassuming little box up here is what does the store and forward. This is what makes it a hybrid. Once I get the HF set up, I'll have another program running called RMS Tri-Mode, and that can run RNOP, VARA, and PacTor at the same time. But I just thought you guys might be interested in seeing that. This is what I'm running. So it's a Motorola CDM 1550 Masters Communications DR836 sound card. A little adapter on the back of the Motorola for RPC electronics that gives me a 6-pin mini DIN. The most universally recognized connector. And then the antenna is a J-pole outside. And I've got this PacTor modem I bought myself for Christmas. Got a great deal on Curaset. But I still want to play with it before I dedicate it to the RMS and a IC7300. So, 2 ways to get on VHF WinLink between your radio and your computer is a sound card and a terminal node controller, or a TNC. Terminal node controllers are kind of a vestigious structure. So before computers were as powerful as they are now, you wanted your processing on a separate device, so you wouldn't bog down your computer. You know, before the internet, everybody had BBSs and packet networks to share information, send messages, and so they're good. They work well. We use one for the APRS digipeater, a Cantronics, just like this. Some radios have them built in. A lot of ICOMs, a lot of Kenwoods have TNC built in, mainly for APRS, but you can only do packet with it. So the benefit of a sound card is you can do any sound card modem. You could use it for FT8, JSA call, any other program like that. And some of them have gotten really, really streamlined. So there's the DigiRig and the DigiRig Lite. This is what I would recommend if you don't have a sound card right now. $60 on Amazon. You make or buy a cable. It's USB-C, and the USB-C will work with your phone if you have WinLink on Android or Radio Mail. And the DigiRig also integrated cat control. So that's the little green port right there. And then you just use 3.5 millimeter TRRS. But if you want to make it easy, you can buy a set of cables. The Signal Link, tons of people have these. I bought one when I was a new general, didn't really know what I was doing. These are kind of complicated to set up your first time. You got to open it up, put a bunch of jumpers in here to make this port work, and then get a cable that goes from RJ45 to whatever you need for your radio. Nothing, not very plug and play. The DRA, they make a lot of different models depending on your needs for your radio. Their website's pretty good at telling you which one you're going to need. And you can either get a DB9, like a serial port connector, or the 6-pin mini-DIN, which a lot of Yaesus have, and a lot of other radios. I thought it was dying out. Here's the 6-pin mini-DIN. I thought this port was dying out, and then Yaesu just announced those 3 new VHF and or dual band radios, and I think 2 out of 3 of them have the packet port right here. So also comes with 9600 baud port. There's actually a Wikipedia page on this connector. It's the old school PS2 keyboard connector, and you only need, don't get confused by all this, you only need 4 of these pins. And these are the same 4 signals you would need for any radio connection to a sound card or a TNC. Push to talk, TX audio, ground, and RX audio. But it's ubiquitous because there's a Raspberry Pi hat of the JAWS board that has 2 of these on it. There's this adapter that I showed you. You can get the Master's Communications, which comes with one. This is called the RIN Lite. If I redid everything, or if you wanted to use a Motorola, this is what I would recommend. It goes into that 16-port pin, or 16-pin port on the back of the Motorola, and has the sound card built in. That's a little confusing being on this slide, but I just wanted to show that to you. If you don't have one of those ports, or you don't have an ICOM with the 13 pin or something like that, the main point of this is the connection is right at the discriminator before it goes through the filtering. So the filtering adds delay in the signal, so you can't use as wide of a bandwidth, and you can't have as high of a start-stop between the 2 stations. So if you don't have a port like that, you can use the speaker port and the mic port. This is the Baofeng DigiRig cable. This is the Yaesu DigiRig cable for like a 2900R or something like that. So you can still get on packet. You can still get on VARA, you just can't use 9600 baud packet, which we don't have in this area anyways. Or you couldn't use VARA FM wide, but you can still use narrow, and it's still very fast. Packet runs on AX25. AX25 is an old school transmission protocol. It uses Bell 202 tones. Maybe some of you recognize this thing. KISS TNCs, or terminal node controllers, use AX25, so that's how the digipeater works with APRS. All the processing is done right here. KISS, keep it simple, stupid, is just a protocol for your computer to talk to the TNC to standardize the commands that the computer is sending and receiving. And I'm just introducing this to you, so when you see these come up, if you're looking into WinLink more, you vaguely recognize it. You don't have to spend a bunch of time. You can also run AX25 through software. So SB2AGW developed the AGW packet engine that served the signals on port 8000, and that's become kind of the standard. Sound modem is free, and it's the easiest program to set up. This is what I use. This is what I showed you earlier on my RMS. So if you want to use packet, all you got to do is point this program to your sound card, tell it how to do push to talk, and then tell WinLink to open it automatically. And then that's all you need to do. There's also VARA. Packet uses AFSK, audio frequency shift keying, but VARA uses all kinds of crazy stuff. So when you reach the maximum speed, it'll show you every different way that it's sending the signals. And with VARA FM wide, you can see wide right here, this guy's running a connection at 19,000 bits per second. So not quite 56K, but still pretty good for RF. Max speed is over 25,000. And the only drawback to VARA is there's a one-time license of $69, I believe. So you can use VARA narrow, and you can use VARA HF at 500, but you're kneecapping yourself. If you really get into this and you want to use it, you want to learn more, just pay the $69 one time and then lifetime support. So within WinLink and most other client programs, there are forms. So if you need to send an ICS 213, if you need to send a 205, if you want to send a weather report, if you want to send your GPS location, if you want to participate in the U.S. Geographical Survey's Did You Feel It exercise, there's a form for that. So forms open a form in the browser. You fill it out like a normal web page, and then you click submit, and it attaches as a TXT file to your email. And they're very compressed, so they send very quickly. There's also some states that have their own forms: California, Texas, Louisiana. You can send radiograms. It's a radiogram form. There's a couple general forms for a WinLink check-in or a WinLink check-out, and the live demo is going to do a form. So what can you do with WinLink after you've set it up and you're like, well, I don't need to talk to anybody. I can send email over internet. How do I practice? What do I do? Who do I send messages to? WinLink Wednesday is my top recommendation. They keep it really simple. There's also variants. There's the IT Disaster Response Core. That's like Team Rubicon for nerds. The North Texas one, and Kentucky WinLink Net, which is actually on Thursday. And then there's also Incom Thursday. So Incom Thursday is really interesting. They'll have you do a lot of stuff. They'll have you open a form and do this and do that. The semi-annual exercises, they tell you ahead of time, this could take a couple hours to send a peer-to-peer message, get a response, do this, do that. But they'll show you all the fascinating things that we're not even going to scratch the surface of within just a regular WinLink client program. WinLink Wednesday is the original and largest WinLink net. The check-in is always really simple. Call sign, first name, city, county, state, and mode. So packet, VARA FM, PACTOR, VARA HF, whichever one you sent it through. If you mess this up, if you put county and then city, they'll send you a friendly reminder. Don't ask me how I know that. But so because they scrape their messages, they don't read each individual one. So they scrape their messages and then populate a map. So this is all the WinLink Wednesday check-ins for last Wednesday. And this map is really cool because it gives you a breakdown. WinLink Wednesday takes regular WinLink messages. They also have peer-to-peer sessions on Wednesday. So most of them are VARA HF, some of them are RDOP, but they have them in the morning and in the evening. And most of the guys are in Virginia, so if you can talk to Virginia on HF, or if you can talk to Arizona on HF, you can send a VARA peer-to-peer message. And they'll keep a tally, and what you want to do is you want to get a purple pin on the map, so you send an RMS message and a peer-to-peer message. And they'll keep track of how many times you checked in, and once you get 100 check-ins, then you get the Centennial Award or something like that. This is Continental U.S. last Wednesday, and here's Tennessee. I have my grid square wrong, so I'm way out east. I'm more in here. Webb, I invited him. I don't think he's here tonight. Oh, hey Webb.
Did you get the WinLink email I sent you this morning?
What's that?
I sent you an email this morning.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to see pins all over Memphis Thursday morning. So this is the WinLink Express client. When you open it up, I've got a bunch of old messages in here, but settings, message, this will open up a new message. So will this button. This will send a position report. This is where you pick the mode. So the main things you want to focus on are message and open a session. You pick which mode. This is also where you would pick peer-to-peer if you were going to do peer-to-peer. And then you click open session. But first you have to go to settings. So you go to settings. If you've never set up a WinLink account, this is where you pick your password. So you put in your call sign, pick your password, close this. It'll do a bunch of stuff in the background. Open it back up, and then you fill out email, address, grid square. Service code defaults to public. If you were a share station or if you were in an EOC, you would add a different service code. If you gave your $25 to the Amateur Radio Safety Foundation, you would get like a 25-character code, put that there. If you were working in an EOC and you had a tactical call sign, not a formal call sign, but the Incom Thursday guys, that's going to be your main experience with a tactical call sign. So they have Incom Training Organization dash, and then your FEMA region. So we're Region 4. So your Incom Training message would go to ETO-04. But if you were one of those stations, you would put that address here. This is what you get when you open a new message. So just looks like a regular email. Carbon copy, subject, attach, and type the message here. If you hit select template, that's where your forms are. Here's all the ICS forms they have built in. What else? Oh, on attach, if you attach a file that's too big, it's going to take you 20 minutes to send it. So it has a really powerful compression built in, where it can bring a 200 kilobyte file down to about 5 kilobytes. You can attach a picture, crop it. This is all within the client. Crop the picture, compress it, or downgrade the quality, and then your picture goes through a lot faster, saves a lot of airtime. If you clicked ICS 213, which WinLink Wednesday takes on, I think, first Wednesdays of the month. I guess third Wednesday, because this week is going to be the third Wednesday, so they're taking on ICS 213 this week. So you would go to ICS Forms, 213 General Message, and they have step-by-step instructions on their website. Incident name, WinLink Wednesday. Check this as an exercise. CAN4 LQN, he's the main net control, so you send all your messages to him, unless you're doing peer-to-peer and you're not peer-to-peer with him. He's got about 7 guys working peer-to-peer. So from is your call sign. Subject, if you click on date, it'll automatically populate. Click on time, it'll automatically populate based on the system time. This computer runs on UTC. And then standard WinLink check-in, call sign, first name, city, county, state, vote. Approved by, and I just put AE for amateur extra. You can put whatever you want. Do not think you can leave it blank. And then you can save initial data for every form. So that'll save the top half here. And then you click submit. Then it attaches as an XML and a TXT. And you'll get all this output where your message normally would go. Don't touch this. If you touch this, then it will not open on the other end. You can request a message receipt, so to guarantee that the other station receives it. Oh yeah. On 2, if you're sending it to another ham, you just put in their call sign. If you're sending it to an email, you just put it in like a normal email. If you're sending a WinLink message from your normal Gmail, it's call sign at winlink.org. So if you want to send me one, K4STB at winlink.org. And then the default in settings, it saves contacts in your 2. So you can click 2 and it'll open up its contacts. So we had a few contacts in there, so I don't have to type in there every time. Send as. If you wanted this specifically to be a peer-to-peer message, you would have to click the drop-down and check that instead of WinLink. Then you click Post to Outbox. This will close. You'll go back to the main page or main window. Click Open Session on whichever mode you're going to do. And this is your generally, this is what the session is going to look like. On packet and FM VARA, you're not going to have a few of these. You're still going to have channel, start, stop, port. So if you click on channel, this will auto-populate based on your grid square, as well as a propagation estimate. In general, it just sorts them by distance. Not 100%, but I had to set the minimum distance pretty far because it would always try to send it to Barry Stroud, and I don't have the right ground wave to get to Oxford. So So you can scroll through these, make sure you're on the right frequency. If you don't have an 80 meter antenna, that's fine. Pick 40 meters, pick 10, 60, whatever you got. And then if this were VARA, it would have the different levels, speed levels. This is Pactor, so it's got P3, P4, 3.2. Pretty much everyone's running 4.3.2 unless they have an older modem that only goes up to 2 or 3. You can click map, and that'll help you pick out one that's a good skip, one hop of RF skip or HF skip. So last night I sent my WinLink Wednesday check-in to a station in Nova Scotia, just to say I did. I clicked auto connect on this particular session, and so it just goes down the list. If a channel's busy, it skips to the next one, and it goes all the way down. Or you can pick one, like I showed you, and click start. You're going to see all these messages. You've already seen a window like this in this presentation. Sorry, it's green on black. That's a new feature, but they didn't do it to the windows. You can customize these. So. But here's all your B2 forwarding protocol commands, password query, password response. These are the messages you're gonna receive. Every message has a message ID, so you're sending whatever you posted to your outbox. Sent one message. This is pretty terrible for Pactor 4. 1758 in 5 minutes, so 345 bytes per minute. And then I received the other 2 messages. I got an SF, and then in the session, and then it puts out a CWID. Great. So now we're going to go live. Okay. So you can see I'm not connected to the internet, just for everybody's awareness. My station is on 144.99. Packet WinLink. Let's open a message. Select a template. General forms. WinLink check-in. N1WDB. Will KQ or yeah. Who else has a WinLink account? Your call sign. Alpha Charlie 5. Mike Romeo. Exercise, service, amateur, VHF, packet, applications. Okay, submit. Takes me right back to WinLink. And you can see it putting those call signs automatically for me. Here's our attachments. Here's our message. Post to outbox. Open session. Sorry, I was using this with a digi-rig, so I haven't used it with them. I want to send it to the projector. Okay. If you want to test your push to talk, you go to calibration. Yep. That's what it is. So that's what you would have to do if you open sound mode for the first time ever, or you changed your radio, like I did. Calibration. Still not good. Sorry guys. We're going to try one more time. Okay. No big deal. We'll try Vara, and if not, I already showed you what a message looks like. Yep, typical live demo. So, sorry about that. But I'll get back on the internet and we'll send it via telnet. That's if you see that, that's how you send a message through the internet. Oh yeah, that line on the WinLink Wednesday slide that was whited out, that's a quote from WinLink Wednesday's instructions. And they specifically request that you do not send via telnet because it, quote, defeats the purpose of WinLink. So your goal should be to make your message leave via what are we doing? And I have this configured to go to my RMS like I'm at home. So I got to connect to my VPN. Okay. If you were going to connect to a regular RMS via telnet or CMS in this case, it would have the URL to whichever Amazon servers it thinks is best. So that was a lot faster than an RF connection would have gone. But I received 3 messages and I sent one in 5 seconds. So blazing fast. Any questions? Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody.
very much for that. Appreciate that.
Adam, do you know Steve Waterman?
I know of him.
He's in Tennessee. He's like one of the original developers.
Yeah, Steve and Phil Sherrod, they're both in Tennessee. I emailed Phil to see if he wants to come talk sometime this year. So if not, we can do Zoom.
Here's people on the FEMA call, and the state call.
Oh yeah, they stay busy with all that share stuff. They serve a lot of government clients. It's pretty impressive what they've developed.
So any questions that anybody would like to ask Adam right quick while I have a moment or two?
So Adam, what was the name of the pie hack as of in 6 months?
It's called the Draws Board. It's made by Northwest Digital Radio. If you're not experienced with Linux, I may or may not recommend it. And it's pretty expensive, and they're almost never in stock. But talk to me after. I might let you borrow.
Any other questions to Adam regarding WinLink and the uses or configuration of it? All right. Real quick shameless plug. There was an error on the link, but it's fixed. If you'll take a moment to scan the signal report on your tables before you leave or on the door as you're out, we appreciate that as you fill that out. That would be super helpful. Plus, you can pull up Adam's program link. Give us some feedback. We need to know what you want to see for the year coming up. We're really working hard as the board to make sure that we're doing what you as a club and the membership are asking us to do. Whether it's doing a fun kit, building something fun and as simple as a code oscillator, or getting together on an extra day and having a social activity, just getting together and share lunch or something. Whatever, just let us know. Give us some feedback so we know what to do. All right. I know we're running just a little long, so I wanted to take just a quick moment on Winter Field Day. Does anybody know what Winter Field Day is?
Field day in the winter.
Field Day in the winter.
Winter.
Absolutely. Do we know when it is?
In the winter.
In the winter. Oh, tough crowd tonight. So just a little bit of conversion just because I think local time. The Winter Field Day this year is January 25th and 26th, 1600 UTC, which is 10 o'clock Central Time. Saturday goes for 30 hours to 2159 UTC on Sunday, or 359 Central on Sunday the 26th. It's an activity that is really built around how do you go out there and leverage your radio station in a situation where you're not normally in your home QTH. Now, the rules do provide for running in multiple locations, including your home, with the heat, indoors, in a comfortable environment that's warm and toasty. You can participate in Winter Field Day. It's a great opportunity to experience a contest that's not a contest, so to speak. There's plenty of activity that's needed for people to work Winter Field Day working from home, because there's a lot of people out in the field that want to have people that they can talk to. Winterfieldday.org is the website. The rules are pretty easy to read and understand. I won't bore everybody with trying to go through all the rules. I've participated a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to make some contacts if you're just getting started, and add some entries into your log. Now, I know that I won't speak for him too much, but Tyler was working to try to get kind of an informal gathering of some people together. Look for or listen on the nets for some of that information. It's kind of coalescing. Hadn't quite gotten fully coalesced on that. But listen to the nightly net, and we might have some fun with that. So a shameless plug on Winter Field Day. Hope everybody has any questions. I'd be glad to try to answer those and take a few minutes. Again, shameless plug on your signal report. Please take a moment to fill that out. And the last thing is, if you haven't renewed your membership, please take a moment to renew your membership. And the last thing I'd ask is, if you know somebody that's not a member of our club, ask them to join our club. We'd love to have them. We'd love to do fun things and have them see what we can do. With that, I would love to entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. All right. KO4ZCJ was the made motion. KK4BPS made the second. All right.